All right, quick and dirty. We see that we still have the lower highs in place. We've broken this trend line, but I don't like the obvious trend lines. We see that we're approaching this level. We have lower highs. 1, 2. This one is lower than this one. We want to make sure it continues and breaks this high versus break this low. We see we're in a sideways type of trading pattern right now. So again, I know a lot of names have moved very well today, but want to make sure we look at the overall price action versus just one day of movement. QQQ, pretty much we have, let's see, QQQ, we pretty much have the same thing. We have, actually this is a higher high right now than this one. But again, we still see that we have 1, 2, 3 bottoms, lower highs overall. Again, this was a great day regarding just points wise, but we just want to make sure that we're looking at things holistically versus just one day. One day doesn't make or break a trend. We've said in many videos in the past that this 50% retracement is kind of what we were looking at to see that we would get a bearish bias and go from there. So we'll look at the IWM. Pretty much very sideways type of movement, as you can see from here. But again, it's staying above this 50% range, so we just kind of have to really go from there and say, okay, 112.50. We want to make sure we can stay above that. Diamond, again, a lot of the Dow names moved today, so obviously that was going to be up. I don't know why this is taking so damn long. Why is it taking so long? Okay, good. And we still have lower highs here, so again, we want to make sure we break this high and continue, and then we can of course go for new highs. Break this low, then you have these 3 lows, and then want to see if this area is gonna break. We still have a bullish bias because we're over that 169. Some names that didn't participate today's price line still looks weak. I don't care how many points is up today, which I just don't care. Again, it still looks weak and is continuing to look weak. GoPro is looking weak as well. A rally of this type of magnitude, and this one doesn't participate. They're really not loving GoPro as they did before, and that's why you don't fall in love with these stocks at all. Yeah, some strong names. Amazon. Oops, I'm typing wrong now. Amazon, again, I got out of this yesterday when it broke above these, and this is the reason why you don't stay around to say how wrong you will be. You have your price action, and you get out, okay? Because within 2 days, it got back to basically where I entered the short. So that's why you have your stops in place, and you're able to get stopped out, and you'll always be able to get back in. There will be many more trading opportunities at high volume, and you can follow this. Again, still not being biased, however, you still have to look and say, okay, it's still below the 50%, but again, it's 2 very strong candles that are getting out of this movement. So we just have to see how things play out from there. You got Google. Google is looking good right here. Again, for this rip up, again, if we take it and try to make sure we look at things holistically, you could see that it's still below the 50-day, but again, how strong it came up into it is something to be said, and still, right at this previous high. So continue up, fine. If it doesn't, we'll have to revisit. Maybe we'll even look for a short for this, but it just a little bit, I wouldn't be looking more for the short of this, quite honestly. But again, I want to just stick to my rules and trade what I see. You got a Chevron. Chevron, again, because of the way oil looks, it had its little pop, but it's still looking a little weak. Volume is tapered down significantly, so a break of this low could be a potential short. Yeah, the S&P had a lot of names that looked okay regarding throwing the index up, but this Bank of America still looks sick. I mean, don't think any other way than say, okay, if it's not above that 1660, it's still a short. We got to see how much with price action. I mean, it's just a 1 or 2 day pullback. And again, this is the reason why I don't take one day pullbacks most of the time, is because you just had one day from this low, this boom, and now they squeezed you out. If you didn't have, I don't know where you're going to put your stop. Again, you do have the occasion that I just don't take them, because most of the time they go against you versus they don't. They go for you. This one day it did pull back and go back, but if we go and look, you see it's still below that 50 days. So don't get too harped on that, because it's still in a very weak state. Goldman Sachs, same type of deal. Still in a weak state, still under the 50% retracement. So we're not going to say we're fully bullish on that at all at this moment. So we're looking at that. We also have a down name of cat that actually still looks weak, still looks very weak, quite honestly. So we saw some movement, saw some good stuff on the indexes. The individual names, some looked really good. Okay, last but not least, I know Apple, of course, and we still have these lower highs until it breaks above this. We still have lower highs, so you don't want it to break this low. You do not want it to break this low at all, or then we're going back. And once we get below this 50, again, it broke the 50 a couple times, but we want to see break below and then give us a flag so that you're not trying to scalp these little, you have to have something more than just saying, okay, it breaks this level, because what are you going to put your stop up here? That's why I don't trade breakouts, because if I trade the breakout, you got squeezed here and you got squeezed here if you were looking at this. So you got squeezed once, and I just don't like it. So this is kind of a textbook reason why I don't typically trade them. So again, I'm rambling, and I want to see what tomorrow brings. Take care.